What sort of day have India had, DK?
It started with a lot of drama, I felt. Just Rishabh Pant walking down those stairs was a great visual in itself. But the fact is that England are pretty much ahead in this game. I think they're in a very strong position as we speak. You've got to understand that England bat really deep, and that's going to show as this game goes on.
What do you think about a first innings lead? I don't want to throw it too far forward because we'll review what's happening. But given what Zach's just said about the pitch, given what you've seen this pitch has done, if England only gets sort of just above parity, does that put India in the driving seat, given England, got a bat last?
Sometimes it doesn't deteriorate much here, to be honest. I know we've been doing that graphic and those stats where every day in the last decade the scores have diminished, but some of that is very small sample size, and it's also who's batting on day 5. Sometimes you have the lower order batting, so stats can be deceiving. Old Trafford looks like it's going to crumble sometimes, looks like it's going to go uneven, and then actually it stays pretty much.
It's a bit different than what we've seen of late,
I think bowling from this end, because of, it's nice that Zach Crawley mentioned what we've been talking about. Maybe it's the pitches that used to face the other way and you're on the edge of one of those and there's that definite white mark, and there has been, Stokes bowled this end and there has been uneven bounce. So I think from this end it will continue to do it, and it could just spin. Jadeja spun a few there to go past the outside edge, obviously find the edge of Zach's bat, but also Ollie Pope. But it's been a good pitch. You look at the scores, and no batter has struggled. If you look at both scorecards, they've been, I don't know if there's been down the order of India, there was some single figure scores, but all the top order batters have been getting scores. That's a sign of a good pitch, but no one has gone on to get 150 and 160, which tends to suggest that the bowler's always got something to play with. I think it's been a really good cricket wicket.
Just to back up what you were saying and what Zach was saying, I'm just going to give you a couple of examples from Ben Duckett. The first from Mohammad Siraj, and if it hits right on that white line and he nails it through the middle of the bat. It's not Siraj, but it's pretty much the same spot, and it doesn't look like much, but it's just nipped back and bounced just that little bit more, and that's the difference between middling it and nicking it,
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's going to get worse, isn't it, as it dries out?
Hopefully, from India's point of view, it should get worse, and that's what they are hoping for, because the fact is that the way it turned a bit, even on day 1, you got the feeling that probably it'll just keep getting worse. Now, when I heard Nasser speak, I don't think that's what Indian team would like to hear, but the fact is that if it stays this way, then England are obviously in a very, very strong position. They will hope that this pitch, especially the cracks, tend to widen up a little bit more. That will cause the uneven bounce. Stuart Broad actually spoke about it on day 1, saying it looks like a very weird pitch, not the usual Old Trafford pitch that I'm used to, where there's chunks of grass, but there are also proper cracks going through, and that's definitely hit one of those cracks.
Sometimes conditions as well. Let's be honest, overhead conditions were better for England this evening. The sun came out, and most English grounds are like that. It's better to batting. Earlier today, there was a lot of cloud cover. The lights were on. It zipped around. I mean, we had a stat from CricViz. This morning, that up to lunch session, that was the most a ball has swung throughout the series, and it definitely did more in the hands of the England bowlers than it did for India.
Word on Ben Stokes. Probably England's best bowler, would you say?
Lion-hearted for a start, because he's a man who's coming back from an injury. He's given up on things that he used to like doing, sacrificed a lot. And this is the kind of output he wants to see, because he's bowling longer spells. At times he's not pushing himself too much. If the game is on the line, you can't get the ball out of Stokes. But just the way he's thinking. I mean, it's one thing when Pant was batting to try and bowl a bouncer and overpitch everything. He set up a field for the short one, but also nailed that leg stump yorker consistently. So he has control over what he wants to do, which is quite phenomenal, understanding that he's also a proper batter, but the contributions that he's able to give with the ball, easily the best bowler across both teams consistently in this series so far. And the lineup of people that he was with in that picture, Gary Sobers, Jack Cullis, Ben Stokes, Ian Botham, that's a very elite list to be part of, and he deserves to be on that.
We should finish with this, Rishabh Pant. We didn't think he'd even come to the ground. When he did come to the ground, he turned up in a moon boot. Punter said he should spike up the moon boot and try and get out there. Well, he did, and it's brave. Memories of Nathan Lyon doing the same thing at Lord's for Australia.
Just said lion-hearted. DK just said lion-hearted about Ben Stokes. That is a massive heart, and that's what made me slightly cross about how India went out and bowled. All those valuable runs that he put on, not just the runs he got, but by being there with Washington Sundar, getting a partnership. He's really risked a lot there. I mean, he's probably batting with the broken foot. Who knows? The Indian camp haven't let anything out, but that is a huge heart. He's got a lot of talent, this lad. but he's got a huge heart as well. He couldn't do anything about that Archer dismissal. So to get all those runs, to get up to 350 plus, and then to start the way they did. They got better as they went through that last session, but the session before tea, they've not done it much in this series, but the Indian bowlers didn't get it right.
I'll just say one thing, to just finish things off. I just hope that 1 hour before tea doesn't come back to bite them at the end of the series. They have been the dominant team in this series for sure, but that one session, and that's what test matches are decided on, and the test series could be decided on. If that's what it's going to be decided, they'd be very disappointed.
Sort of happened in the series so far, hasn't it? England have had those better moments. England 2-2-5 for 2 at stumps on day 2. They trail by 133.